Hey guys, I'm hoping to try this new live stream. Let's see if this works. I'm going to click on here to see if we got any. There you go. Hey, give me a thumbs up if you can hear me. I'm trying something. If you would be so kind. I'm trying something new here. All right, cool. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, what's going on, Jill? Great on. All right, cool. All right, looks like we got Wade, James. All right, sweet. I watched a little bit of the Falcons and the Vikings. I watched about the first half of that, and that's it. Dave, spectator, flying Illinois Class G, Texas country, right on. I don't think I watched any football yesterday, but I had to, Dennis, Orlando, Cape Paso. Actually, how do I do this? All right, so we're going to try this. We're going to try a live thing down here. Daniel, what's going on? All right, cool. Looks like live now. So I'm going to try this down here and see if it works. All right, now it looks good. All right, sweet. Yay. It looks like it's working. All right. All right. Oh. And Pablo says hi, everybody. Hey, Pablo! Hey, Dana, right on, man. All right, cool. So that looks like it's working, all right? That's funny, Dana. You said that. There we go. Hey, Steve, right on. All right, cool. Rick, Deb, Vince. New York. Got to get out of New York, man. Paul, because... talking, I did a couple videos today, and they're saying one guy was saying $1,500 a month in property taxes. I mean, $1,500 a month. It's crazy. All right, so I'm going to see if this works. All right, hold on a second. And it looks like you can see that okay. All right. All right, that looks good. Let's see. If this works, I'm gonna be doing this on a regular basis. I love the whiteboard. Now I can use my arm. So if I can get this to work, how's it going, Don? Hey, going good, my friend. Yeah, $3,400 a year, exactly. Yeah, I've always been fascinated by the real estate stuff, man. Rochester, Kevin, Fort Worth, Arkansas. It's just one of those things that's so obvious to me, and it's like one of those things that looks too obvious. I don't know how to make of that. Hey, what's going on, dude? I just don't know, like, what do you do with that now? I mean, because I don't have any money to buy a vacation home or anything like that, but you just see the writing on the wall. Mineral Wells, Texas. West Virginia, right on. Poco, West Virginia is where my man Don Serber's from. And he writes a blog up there, which I'm a big fan of. Poco, West Virginia, wherever that is. I think it's right outside of Charleston. Charleston, West Virginia is where I turned 21 years old, FYI. All right, so let me write something down. Stocks. Let's see if this... it's backwards. I knew it. That's what happened last time. Yeah. Pittsburgh on. Steelers against the Pats. Except it's not backwards? Oh. No, you're right. All right, cool. Sweet. Yay. That's why I haven't done this. I did a live, one of my first live streams I ever did, probably last in 2018. A couple guys said it was backwards. I don't know if YouTube changed it or whatnot, but that definitely doesn't look backwards. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, sweet. All right. Oh, this is going to open up so many things, my friends. Oh, yes. I can't wait. So I cannot, I'm not going to watch the Pats and Steelers, but just report back if Tom Brady starts throwing a bunch of interceptions or if he gets injured. Los Angeles. Yeah, no, my shoulder's much better, Greg. It really is. She even has me, the Rachel, the bane of my existence, lifting 2-pounders now, which is fantastic. So it's much better. It's not, I mean, nowhere near what I want it to be, but I actually was able to do some just some back exercises with bands yesterday, and I'm sore, man. It's fantastic. A new pointer. I don't know what you mean, brother. A new pointer. I mean, instead of this guy, instead of freaking PVC pipe, you can't have a better pointer than PVC pipe. That makes me original, right? All right, 759. All right, cool. Yeah, residential assisted neighborhood. I'm telling you. I forgot. I think it's Scott, Texas Hill Country, or Texas Country Living. Texas Country Living. That's another YouTube channel. Cedar Creek, Tejas. How do you invest? All right, so let me back up. I was working with some folks the other day up in I think Michigan. Yeah. And she does residential assisted living, and she is backed up. And I'm trying to get her on a podcast, Vancouver, Washington. I'm trying to get her on the podcast, and she's a little bit nervous because a lot of people think it's on the podcast. I have to be on the YouTube channel. I'm like, you don't have to get. It's not. But anyway, I get it. Some people are just, there's like Pablo, camera shy. And but anyway, so I said, man, I would love to hear your experience, Rochester, Michigan. Michigan, right? Yeah. Concord, North Carolina. Terrapin's ranked number 21. Hey, Tom. Yeah, SEC's got 3 of the top 4. I mean, come on, man. I think 5 of the top 10 are SEC. I mean, Auburn squeaked by, I think, who did Auburn beat? They squeaked by Oregon. I think they did beat a quality team this week. I was like, come on, man. I mean, you got 5 of the top 10 SEC. And then you got Jimmy, and then then that's pretty much it for the conference. It's just, can we stop this thing that the SEC is the toughest division conference in all football from top to bottom? I mean, hell, Vanderbilt, they got smoked by Purdue. Never mind Missouri, and who else got some? Tennessee? Oh yeah. Remember when Tennessee used to be good? It's not. What happened to those guys? It's crazy. All right. So anyway, hey, my man Sean just retired this month. My man Sean, right on, man. Sean, retired this month on $32,000 a year. A pension? So you retired at $32,000. I don't get it, man. $32,000 a month pension? Is that what you retired on? And you got $200,000 in IRA? And wife is still working? And wife is still working. I'm confused. Greenpeace Center, giant side of Texas. Hey, what was I just talking about? Let's talk about something before I start talking about college football. I got off on a tangent. Sorry. All right. So, what do I want to talk about? So, I want to write on this board about provisional income first and foremost because I think it's going to be helpful. Wife's still working while I'm retired. Isn't in the cards. Bangor, Maine. All right, Chris, man, right on. All right, so you ready to talk about provisional income? I thought about semiconductor ETFs. I don't know anything about them, man. Sorry, Todd. No clue. Colorado in the house? All right, so let's do this. Provisional income. This is how Social Security is taxed. Look, if you haven't watched the channel or if you watch it, I talk about this a million times a Sunday. Lately, I've been on a tangent on bonds, which I want to talk a little bit. And then today I did this whole thing. It's my man Bruce from Florida. And if he's on this, he knows who he is. He sent me a couple articles. Oh, working with a couple from Michigan. Right on. Oh, so she does assisted living. That's what it was. Thanks, David. Hey, Alzheimer's setting in. And I say, man, there's opportunity there. I don't know how it would be. Like, I know for a fact, if you type in assisted living in, don't do Google, but do DuckDuckGo or Bing, assisted living facilities, you will find ads up the wazoo because all these people are running assisted living facilities. I don't even know who they are. Do you know who they are? I mean, they might be nurses. They might not be. They might just be some dude. But they're running these programs and using essentially the voucher of the Medicare system, the voucher of their health insurance stuff, and whatever it is, the long-term care, and they're getting paid. I don't know how they do that. But I do know that that's going to come more and more. And it's just like, if this lady had a wait list of 10, and if you knew where she lived, it's rural for the most part as can be, like, how does she get a wait list of 10? Well, because so many old people in her neck of the woods needed some place to go. And so what do, they sell their house. Anyway, I have all these questions I want to ask of her. And I'm just like, my man Texas Country Living said, assisted living communities are, and we got them going up like crazy here in Georgia. It's freaking nuts. It's nuts how many assisted of North Fulton County. I mean, there's all over the place. They're going up like crazy. And I'm sitting there thinking, the actuaries, or at least the chief financial officers, they can't be, they're getting the funding for this someplace. I don't know where they're getting the funding for it, but are they do it? I don't think they're selling equity, so they got to be selling bonds, or maybe they're private investors. I don't know how it works. But man, there's got to be opportunity to make money there. However, just going back to my thought process, I still think, and I don't have the money for this, so don't look at me as the example to follow. But just seems to me there's going to be this huge amount of vacation homes, second homes going on the market here in about 5 years. And you can pick those up for a freaking dime, man. Just cheap. Turn around and VRBO or Airbnb those suckers, just 3 nights, 3 months a year. And you can make bank. I'm telling you. And someone had posted, who was it? My man Sergio Santana from California. He posted that somebody that were paying cash money for these houses, like rich people. And I don't even think you got to be a rich person, paying cash money for these houses and renting them for like $2,000 a month. And I can't remember what the capitalization rate, I just don't remember. But it was like a 6% yield, like a bond. Except instead of having this paper asset, it's a real live asset. And because it's a rental property, you get to write the whole thing off. It just seems to make sense a whole lot more than what some of these guys on YouTube say with, a 25-year-old kid telling you how to become a millionaire. I just thought that stuff always bothered me. Like, I just don't want to hear that. Yeah, right here. My mom is in assisted living, says Kevin. 40 residents at $5K a month, $2K a year, all cash-based, no Medicaid. I mean, there's got to be some serious liability there, insurance. There's got to be, look, man, there's got to be money to be made. And I don't mean it like to be made, hey, Judes. Yeah, if it's a business expense, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Yeah, my old man lived in a nice assisted living complex for almost 12 years, cost him over $1 million, and he had a $260,000 to get in. And that's where those continuing care retirement communities are. See, with assisted living, the risk, of course, in these CCRCs is that you're going to have someone who needs skilled care. All right, skilled care means you got to go, hey, what's up, man? Or lady, Bola, New York. Skilled care means you go from independent living to assisted living, and then you go into like mental care and whatnot. After death, the trust got back 90%. And so if you go to skilled care, that's where the costs are, correct? And if the skilled care is where you need 24/7 care, you need real live nurses, not certified nursing assistants. You need real live people who can monitor you, and those people cost a lot of money and stuff. But the risk is that you're right on. So the risk is of the fact that how many of those people you're going to invite into your CCRC or assisted living facility. And then on top of that, how many are going to actually make it or graduate, if you will, from independent living to assisted living to skilled care. And and this is where long-term care insurance ran into a big thing. They way underestimated the people who would actually file a claim for long-term care, and they way underestimated how many people would actually drop their policies too. They assumed a whole lot more people would drop their policy than actually did. All right, Mike C, I think so. Ooh, yeah. All right. So Mike, I'm all about holding gold. I said it a million times on Sunday. Look, man, 5 to 10% of actual gold. I did a video where I bought some gold from U.S. Mint, and a lot of the subscribers told me, don't buy gold from U.S. Mint. You're paying a premium. So I did jam bullion before then. But then since then, I just said, well, I went to U.S. Mint. I thought it'd be kind of cool. I did a video on that whole thing. I took it down just because my address was on there. I don't really care. You can find me if you want. And, if you're going to be an Antifa and want to come by my house and beat me up, you can find it. But at the end of the day, I just took it down. But it was pretty cut and dry. So I'm a big fan of owning gold. Not gold ETFs. No. Gold. Actual gold. I don't want mining stocks. I want ETFs. I actually want the gold. Absolutely. It doesn't make you a prepper. Doesn't mean you're worried about the freaking zombies. It doesn't mean you hate Trump or Obama. It just says I have gold as a protection. It's not a hedge against inflation. It's a hedge against calamities is what it is. I'm just telling you right now. We have evidence of this time and time again. It's such a hedge against calamities that FDR made it illegal to own, and you could be thrown in jail back in the 1930s if they found out you owned gold. And that was only made legal back in like 72 or 74, I think is what it was. And so we have no track record of gold other than the black market other until 74. And then gold in 1980 was way up here. Well, inherently it was. And then it did nothing until about, what, 2000. Then it got killed. From 2000 to 2011, it kicked butt, took names. Then it got killed from 2011 till this year, or even last year, I guess. So gold in of itself, we don't have enough track record to say JM Bullion, JM Bullion. Rob, you're not watching the game, huh? Yeah, 75, right on. So I tell you, man, gold is, we have a track record of that. Harry says, my long-term care insurance costs me $21 a week, and that's for him and his wife. Yeah, man, that's not too shabby. Long-term care insurance, $20 a week. That means $80 a month if my math is, because I think we have 4 weeks in a year, 4 weeks in a month, times 20. That'd be $80 a week, $80 a month for a long-term care policy. You're not getting that policy again. I'll tell you that right now. All right, so let's go to provisional income. We'll get some of your questions here in just a second. My man Sean. We're going to use my man Sean. He just emailed. He has $32,000 a year coming in. I have a thing. I think he had $32,000 a year pension. All right, so $32,000 a year pension, and we're going to say he's got Social Security. Let's say $2,000 a month. All right, so that'd be $24,000 Social Security. All right, he said he has $200,000 in an IRA. All right, $200,000 IRA. And I'm telling you, once you figure this out, man, you'll be yeah, I pay long-term care. My wife, I'm 49. My wife's, the beautiful, is 45. Yeah, 45. And we've been paying for 10 years. About, I think about $160 a month between us. Absolutely. He said he was only, yeah, I said, yeah, 59. Right. Oh, okay. Someone just called me. So I'm still on here. All right, cool. All right, so he says he's only 59, right on. But still, bear with me just a second, because he's not taking Social Security yet. He won't take it until, I'm going to say, until he's 70. I want to show you how that works. I get he's only 59 now, right on. So he's not getting Social Security, but I want to show you how it works. All right, so we're going to say he's going to get $2,000 a month. That is PIA. That's his full retirement age. His PIA will be $2,000 a month. All right, so let's take a look. Now, he's going to have a $200,000 IRA. Now, at 7% a year, that's going to grow to $400,000 by the time he's 70 years old. All right. So he's got $400,000, and I hope I have my calculator. I do. So when he hits 70 years old, he's going to have IRA distributions, RMD. It looks like you can kind of see that. Hopefully I'm explaining it while we're going. We take 400,000 divided by 27.4, because that's the IRS tables, 27.4. So we take 400,000 divided by 27.4. He's going to have $14,598 of RMD. All right, so y'all with me so far? So I know it's hard to read. He has a $200,000 IRA now. He's only 59. We're just going to assume he makes a 7% a year growth. So he'll have $400,000 by the time he's 70. He has to divide that by 27.4, because that's the first. That is the first table for RMD factors when he hits 70 years old. Now, if they pass the Secure Act, which I'm liking less and less, but they're probably gonna, but that will change. But for right now, that's the first RMD number is 27.4. The following year is 26.5, 25.6, and so on and so on. So he's got to take $14,598 from his IRA. You with me so far? So we're just gonna say he's got $32,000 of pension. He's got $24,000 of Social Security. Look, I'm not making this specific. I'm just saying at the end of the day, it's how it works. All right, $24,000 of Social Security, and he's got $14,598 of IRA. All right, so what we do, we're going to figure out a couple things going on here. We're going to figure out before he has to take the RMD and after. So bear with me just a second. So we divide that by half, so he only has $12,000 of IRA, of Social Security that's countable as taxes. That's it. He's got $32,000, still his pension, and $14,598. So we take our trusty calculator and we say, how much is his provisional income? Bruce, what's going on, Bruce? Nothing. You didn't miss anything. Just a bunch of yapping about the insanity of college football. The SEC has 3 of the top 4. Hey, all right, so he's got 58,598. So let's clear this up a little bit. His provisional income is 58,598. No, Victor, you got it's only half of Social Security for your provisional income. It's only half of Social Security. All right, so now he's got 58,598. You got to remember that. You don't factor in all of your Social Security. I've had a number of people email me about this too, saying, hey, it's wrong or something like that, or the Social Security system's off, or my calculation, their calculation is wrong, or something like that. And I said, yeah, you're not quite getting how the provisional income stuff works. All right, what did I just do with my pen? Okay. All right, well, I did find my brown one, by the way. Actually, you know who found this for me? Take a guess who found my brown pen. It was laying on the ground. I had someone down here. Not only did he pee on the ground, but he found my brown pen. I had to steal it from him because he was hiding his mouth. Pablo. That's right, old Pablo. So he took a big pee right there, which you guys can't see. But he did find my pen, thankfully. All right. So what do we say? We have $24,000 of pension of Social Security. We have $32,000 pension, and we have what do we have? $15,000 of RMD. We'll just say pension RMD. All right. So again, we take so what did I say? 50. We have 58,598. 58,598 is our provisional income. We're assuming Sean is married because I think he likes the Bruins, and any lady would find themselves in love with someone who liked the Boston Bruins. Yeah, we did get started. So obviously, Sean's a Bruins fan. I know he's a Pats fan. So, of course, all the good-looking ladies will find attracted to Sean. So, of course, he's going to be married. Yeah, met at a Bruins game. That's classic. Only in Boston, man. And don't forget, I'm not from Boston. I'm from Maine. All right. So people say, you're from New England. The Maine's it's like living in West Virginia. It's a whole different country. It's like Texas, man. You live in a whole different country. So anyway, we got $58,000. So if Sean is married, the first 0 to 32,000, nothing is taxable. Nothing from a provisional income. Remember, provisional income, we're trying to figure out how much of his Social Security benefit is taxed. That's all we're doing here. Trying to figure out how much of that $24,000 is subject to income tax. That's all we're doing. So the first $32,000 is nothing. So that gives us $26,598. The next 12,000. All right, is taxed at 50% of that. So 50% of the next 12,000 is $6,000. So for 0 to 32 is none of it's taxed. 32 to 44 is taxed at 50%, and over 44 is 85%. So it'll make sense in just a second. So now we got $14,598, which is taxed at 0.85. I probably could have done this a little bit more organized, but I'm just kind of going off the fly here. All right. Schaefer Stadium, man, when they used to have the turf. Remember that? My dad took me and my brother and my sister up. When my dad first moved to D.C., we spent the Christmas down there. We got to go to the University of Maryland Terrapin Stadium. It was awesome during Christmas. Then we were driving back to Maine, and we got to go to Schaefer Stadium. We got on the field, man, where Steve Grogan and all that. That was like being in heaven. I'll never forget that. That was awesome. 14,000. 12,408. So we got 12,408. All right, so we plus these guys right here. And I know this is probably not very organized, but bear with me just a second. It'll make sense here in just a second. So that's going to be 18,408. Of that amount right there is subject to taxation. 18,408 of Sean's $24,000 of Social Security will be subject to taxation. Now the question is, the most that is ever subject is 85% of that. So 24,000 times 0.85 is 20,000. So I don't even watch football anymore. I catch a couple games. I can't watch the Patriots. I get too nervous. So remember John Smith? All right, but anyway, so we got 18,408 is his taxable Social Security. All right, 18,408. All right. I know you guys who aren't Patriots fans, you're like, I wish these people would just shut up. Sorry. So taxable Social Security is $18,408. That's a taxable SS. He's got $32,000 pension. And he had $15,000 of IRA distributions. So we add all these guys up, and we got, well, let me go back to doing it again. We got $18,408 plus $32,000 plus $15,000. So his taxable income is $65,408. That's his adjusted gross income, sorry, AGI. So it's $65,408 AGI. So Sean is married. We're just going to assume his standard deductions are $27,000, which gives us how much of a taxable income is that? Is that $38,000 roughly? Right, 38. So basically, $38,000 is his. We'll just say $38,000 is his taxable income. Does that make sense? All right. So he's going to be right at the 12% tax bracket. So the first, roughly $20,000. No, he'll be well. The first $20,000 is that? No, that's for a single. The first, I'm drawing a blank with the tax brackets. Is the $77,000 is when I think he's gonna be right at the 10% bracket. I think that's it, man. So he'll be times 10%. So he'll pay $3,800 in federal taxes. Now the state of Massachusetts is going to pay basically a 5% tax on anything. I don't know how the whole thing works, but Massachusetts, that's why they call it Taxachusetts. So $3,800 in total taxes on $15,000 IRA, $32,000 on $70,000 of income. He'll pay $3,800 on $70,000 of income to the Fed. So $3,800 divided by $70,000 of income. That's 5.5% federal taxes. Man, that's not bad. Now, let's do something. You ready? Watch this. All right, so remember, keep in your head, I'm going to show you how the double taxation of Social Security works. So remember, he's paying $3,800 in taxes. We'll get some questions here in just a second. But now, when he's 69 years old, how much does he pay? This is going to friggin' piss you off. Hopefully YouTube doesn't ban me for saying that word. Yeah, I had him over 65, whoever posted that last comment, because I had him taking RMD as required distributions. All right, so hold on just a second. My man Rob is from Pittsburgh. He's probably not watching because he doesn't want to be laughed at when the Pats stomp all over the Steelers. And I'm looking forward to Antonio Brown. You got to watch my man Flemlo Raps. I interviewed that guy. He talks all these stories about football. And that guy, just some of the stuff you learn, you're like, man, why was I ever on that guy? And Antonio Brown's the guy that you'll find, he'll be intrigued. It's like, oh man, that guy, yeah, that's Rob. He'll be like, man, that guy's not so bad. All right, so now we got $32,000 of pension. And we got, we don't have any, we have $24,000 Social Security. All right, and we'll just say 69 between Sean and his better half. And trust me, if you know Sean, his better half is literally his better half. Ah! All right, so I'm just saying that. So anyway, our provisional income is half his Social Security plus whatever other income he's got. All right, so that's $12,000 plus this. It's $44,000. Oh, you see where we're going here? You see where we're going? $44,000. Does that number ring a bell to anybody? It should. All right, so we know the first $32,000 is not subject to any taxes at all. No Social Security is taxed if your provisional income is $32,000 or less. So the entire $24,000 is tax-free. All right, but he doesn't have $32,000. He has $32,000 to $44,000. $44,000 is his what his provisional income is. We know of this, that's times 50%. So that's 12,000. I'm making a mockery of my writing here. 12K times 0.5 equals $6,000. All right, this is going to friggin' tick you off. Watch this. Oh, this makes me so mad. All right, so we got $6,000 is his provisional income. $6,000 plus any other income he's got. So we know pension is $32,000. And if you're new to this channel, This is why you pay me the big bucks right here, because this will make you mad, and you'll say, you know something, screw Medicare for all. Why don't we just get Social Security tax better, so that way the freaking lower middle class doesn't get screwed by the swamp creatures in D.C. Of their both R's and D's, by the way. All these people, Josh, you're too whatever. And I'm like, dude, the swamp is a swamp. All these people are infested in it. Ay, ay, ay. This one pissed me off. So you have 32. Oh, that's not gonna work. No, I'm just down here, Craig, in the basement. I haven't done this because I haven't been able to write with my arm, and I'm fired up. And then I found my brown pen. It'll work. $32,000 plus $6,000. All right, so we got $32,000 plus $6,000. 38. I had a better black pen here. $38,000 is his total AGI. His provisional income is $6,000. That means 1/4. Yeah, he had $24,000 of Social Security. $6,000 of that is subject to income taxation. So 1/4 of his full Social Security is subject to tax. Plus, he has $32,000 of pension. $38,000 is his total taxable income. Or AGI. I keep saying taxable income. It's his AGI. Oh, this. I think this is it. Oh, there we go. Yeah. All right, now again, he's 69. All right, 69, so he gets a $27,000 standard deduction. All right, so what is his taxable income? Well, it's going to be $11,000. All right, so $11,000 at 10%. It's $1,100 in taxes. All right, so before it's $3,800 if memory serves. So before we had, well, I keep having to do this. Just bear with me. We have $1,100 now. So we have $1,100. Oops. Ah. All right. Actually, believe it or not, this is an exercise for your rotator cuff. Believe it or not, doing like that. It hurts a little bit, but it feels kind of good because you're stretching it out. All right, so we got $1,100. I gotta do it harder, I guess. $1,100 tax. Things killing me. Just give me a pen to write with already, for heaven's sake. $1,100. Then before we had $3,800. So what's the moral of the story? He took out $15,000 of IRA distributions. $15,000 of IRA. So we had $15,000 RMD. That made him have $2,800 more in tax. All right, so 15,000 RMDs, 2,800 more in tax. That's an 18.6% effective tax bracket. Even though he's only in a 12% tax bracket. Remember, because he only had his taxable income was right at, he had 70,000 of total income. That's it. So he had to pay more in taxes than his tax bracket was. His effective tax rate has gone up by 18.6% because before he had paid $1,100 in taxes. Now he pays $3,800 in taxes, which is $2,800 more on a $15,000 RMD. So that RMD did not cost him 10%, never mind 12%. It cost him 18.6%. I know I need to get one of those, Jerry. I needed that for sure. But I think Dustin, I can't remember how he got it, but Dustin's got the money, man. I don't remember if Dustin's got kids or not. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's the friggin' provisional income. And there's something the government will never tell you. Why would they? Because everyone's just fat, dumb, and happy, saying, oh. And we're sitting there thinking, and here's the issue too. As you go up the ranks of income, that double tax torpedo, it goes away. Because what happens, we know 85% of your Social Security will be taxed once you hit a certain income threshold. I'm not going to do it here, but don't even get me started on what happens when Sean leaves. Yeah, I don't even know how to set it up here. I appreciate that. I just don't know how we even set it up. Maybe I could get Dustin to show me. He showed me when I was down there. It was sweet. But maybe I'll reach out to him and we'll figure something out. But anyway, that tax torpedo, It's even worse when Sean dies and leaves it to Mrs. Mann. She's going to get hammered even worse because instead of having 2 standard deductions of $27,000, she'll have about $14,000 of standard deductions. But now the first $10,000 of taxable income is taxed at 10%. The next $28,000 is taxed at 12%, and anything above that is taxed at frippin' 22%. Roth to the rescue. Exactly right, Mike. When you're 59 years and a half, you better start doing Roth IRAs. So I want to talk a little bit about that, and there's no RMDs. I want to talk a bit about Roth too. I've been dealing with this quite a bit lately, actually. And it's do Roth conversion 60. Nah, don't move to Thailand, man. No. And I'm not sure Massachusetts. But I mean, I did a video the other day, Western Massachusetts. Yeah, and Jill, you're gonna have the same thing. Just because you're single doesn't mean you avoid the tax torpedo. You're gonna have the same thing when it comes here. The issue that happens a lot though, when I find this more and more with people who have pensions, it gets harder. Especially if you're single, if you have a pension and you're single, it's harder to validate the benefit of a Roth conversion. I was working with a guy the other day from Texas. I get lots of people from Texas, Michigan, Texas, California, Washington State. That's where I get a lot of clients from those 4 states. It's kind of interesting. I've had a couple in New England, a couple in Indiana, a couple in Florida. That's, I mean, by and large, man, that's those places. Georgia as well. That's right. All right. Yeah, and then there we go. I have to wait to do the Roth conversions until ACA, until I go on Medicare, because the ACA, he'll lose his premium credits or whatever it is. Isn't that crazy? You think all this is just, just happenstance. If Kevin does Roth conversions, he loses his Obamacare subsidies. If Kevin doesn't do Roth conversions, he gets faced with tax torpedo, and then lo and behold, Kevin leaves it to his wife. She gets hammered from taxes. Hey, but Kevin doesn't know. Because no tax advisor knows about this. No financial planner knows about this. Very few people know about this. How do I know? There's a guy named Bill Reichenstein from Baylor. I'm a huge fan of. He's like a professor, a PhD. So he knows his stuff, unlike your old buddy Josh. But anyway, a good guy. He does all kinds of stuff on Social Security. Him and Bill Meyer. And I don't know where Bill Meyer, I'm not sure if he's a professor at, the answer is yes, Sean, you do Roth conversions, bar none, absolutely. But anyway, they write lots of stuff on Social Security. I've been writing lots of stuff in the Journal for Financial Planning for many, many years. I had an insurance guy tell one of my clients when I was at USAA. He came to my 44th floor, I think we were 44th floor when I was in Center City, Philadelphia. And he said, hey, I want you to read this that some insurance guy did. And I almost dropped in the freaking trash basket. I said, I don't want to hear some stuff from some insurance guy. This is probably 2013. And I read it, and that's where I got where I finally found out about the provisional income stuff. I said, this is freaking nuts. I said, this can't be. There's got to be some kind of sales pitch. So I looked online. I found a couple things that were enough to make me intrigued. And I emailed this guy, Reichenstein. He emailed me back. And he said, yeah, man, I'm not that familiar with it. A nice guy. But I said, and I remember thinking, well, how are you not familiar with it? Because you talk a lot about Social Security. And I wasn't, not disparaging, but it's just no one knew. You see what I'm saying? And I don't remember who the first, I don't think it was Kotlikov. I don't even think it was Ed Slott. I can't remember who the first guy or lady was that talked about the huge discrepancy, the regressive tax on Social Security benefits. But it friggin' pissed me off. It's like, this is nuts. And no one's talking about it. Then Ed Slott started talking about it when it came to, I'm not sure. How can I say this? Ed Slott has his own group of advisors similar to Dave Ramsey. And so Ed Slott, I don't know. I don't know how his advisors are. I know I was talking to a guy who was working with some Dave Ramsey guys the other day, and they were trying to. It was just the whole thing was weird. I said, I don't know if I'd like my name being affiliated with that. So, not that I'd ever go there, but I don't know. I wonder if Ed Slott is. I want to say more. But I don't know. It's just he has some advisors that he works with that kind of affiliate through his IRA thing, and I don't get a good feeling for that. I'd rather not say anything more than that. All right. So anyway, so the point is, you do the flipping Roth IRAs as soon as you can, Roth 401ks as soon as you can, even if you're single. The drawback is if you have a big pension. I had a guy with an $88,000 pension the other day because he worked for a fossil fuel company. And, those fossil fuel companies are evil. Bernie's going to throw the fossil fuel executives into jail. And it's funny, I asked this guy, I said, hey, you probably won't be around long because Bernie, if he wins, he's going to throw your butt in jail. He says, well, I'm not really a high-level executive, so I'll probably just get, they'll probably put something, just keep him home. He'll just have to stay home for a couple of years while we all go green with our solar photovoltaic panels. Yeah. Someone said Josh is fired up today. I just got done reading an article about the insanity of the Greta, what's that lady's name? Greta ankle bracelet. Whatever that lady's name is, Greta Thunberg or something like that. I said, man, these people, not her, but she is being used, child abuse by all these rich corporations, these big green wannabes who want to separate you from your paycheck. I just read this. I was so fuming. I said I was going to do a video on it, but I had to come down here instead, which is good. Oh, it infuriates me. The idea we're going to throw some guy into jail because he works for fossil fuel. Why just the executives, Bernie? Why not the freaking guy on the rigs, huh? Oh, because you want to be... just the hypocrisy. As Bernie's flying around in his freaking jets all campaigning all over the place. Look, if you want to be green, do it. But don't sit there and throw the fossil fuels execs while you're using fossil fuels to get around a campaign. Yeah. Still fired up. The vegan woman, I just felt bad for her, Craig. That was sad. The vegan woman just sitting there thinking, nuts, man. You need a Pablo in your life, lady, because Pablo will make you happy. All right, so this guy had $88,000 of pension. All right, he's married, filing jointly. Don't worry, I will get to some of you single people. So what happens is we take off their standard deductions, and he's, was that 53? No, 60. Yeah, $61,000 of taxable income right there. And he's not getting any standard, there's no itemization going on or anything like that. He's not getting standard, he's only taking standard deduction. He's been working the same company for a long time, Mike. I mean, we're talking 35 years. Anyway, so he's got $61,000. He's already in the 12% tax bracket at that point, already in the 12%. As taxable income, because it's about $80,000 to get to 22. Yeah, so basically for him, and he's got a good amount of money to do any Roth conversions. He's pulling forward money. He'll have to pay tax at roughly 20 because he's got more than just that. He's going to have Social Security as well. So he knows he's paying 85% on his Social Security. So he's immediately in a 22% tax bracket, if that makes sense. So for him to do Roth conversions, he's pulling money forward that he doesn't have to pay tax on until later on. But when we start running the right capital stuff, I still said it's worth it because he can say at the end of the day, I'm not just leaving it for me, but I'm leaving it for my wife. And I want to make sure my wife is in a good place when I go to my creative reward. So for him, it made sense. Now we'll go back to my friend Jill there. And you don't have to have an $80,000 pension. The pension would be enough though. If your pension is large enough to remove your standard deduction, so your pension, Jill, is, let's say, $22,000. If you're single and you have a pension of $22,000, you have a pension that is more than offsetting your standard deduction. So let's just go back and say we're Jill. She's single. She has a pension of $25,000. All right, her standard deduction will say $14,000. So she immediately has taxable income of $11,000. Immediately. Right out the gate, she has taxable income of $11,000. Now that puts her already into and she's in the 12% tax bracket right there. All right, and it's $38,000 to get to the 22% tax bracket. Roughly $38,000 is the 22%. So if her Social Security is $20,000 or $30,000, she's pretty doggone close right there alone. So now she's pulling money forward to pay tax on, and most likely she's not married. She's not leaving to a surviving spouse, tax free, and she can still take out more. 40K Social Security is 67. Well, if that's all now, do you have a pension? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't have a pension, it's different. But the problem with the pension is it wipes out your standard deduction immediately. If it wipes out your standard deduction immediately, that means you're pulling forward income tax that you don't have to pay till later on down the road. And I just don't see the benefit of that because, you know, all right, so here we go. All right, here we go. We got 33. How much was your Social Security again? I forgot what you said. We got 33K pension. Oy. All right, so let's run these numbers. This is a single person. Climate controlled. Not really. Why am I sweating? All right, 40K, that's 60. Okay, am I sweating? It's not really climate. I mean, it's. We got a heater down here. We got air conditioning. I don't have anything on. I got pants on, believe it or not. But other than that, all right. So Jill's got 40,000. She has a 32,000 pension. Oh, man, that is. I think Dustin got that thing for free, if memory doesn't serve. If I'm not mistaken, and he was supposed to. Declare that as a gift or something like that, and the people got all up, and I was like, yeah. Anyway, all right. So single, 32,000 pension, and she said, we'll say 35,000 of Social Security. Well, no, she said 40,000 Social Security at 60 at her full retirement age. Oh, by the way, these are the kind of stuff I'm going to be doing on my course too, by the way. And I'm working on it. This is a... don't get one, Josh. Keep working out that shoulder. Oh, yeah, no, it's good. I like it. It still hurts a little bit. But this kind of stuff I'm going to be doing on my course, which is coming out. It's coming out here pretty soon. I'm very much looking forward to it. Oh yeah, no, I got you. No, the markers were fine. I got dry erasers after dry erasers. We'll bust out a new one. I didn't think it'd be this. Yeah, I saw. Ooh, 5 sets for who's won, Marie? Who won that? I was just watching it. To be honest, I never thought I'd like tennis. It was fun to. I always watched Jimmy Connors and the guy from Beyond Board or something like that back in the day. I always liked that. I always liked sports, but still going. And they're playing 5 hours, man. I mean, how is baseball? And I like baseball. Who's more athletic, a tennis player or a baseball person? Who's more athletic? I hate to say it, but a tennis player in terms of stamina or a football player. It's nuts. I know 2 completely different sports, but these guys are 5 hours. McEnroe, yeah. All right, so here's Social Security at FRA. All right, so what do? We take half of this, so it's be 20,000 plus this 32,000. So her provisional income is $52,000. Yeah, I'm not really sure what broke. That means broke to serve. My youngest has to tell me what's going on. All right, so let me write this down. $52,000 provisional income. All right, so what we're going to do next is we're going to... So this is single person, because everyone says, do something for singles. And I said, I do, but I don't mind doing it again, because I like doing this stuff like crazy, because it's fun. Now I'll get to some questions here in just a second, but $52,000 is provisional income. So we know for a single person, 0 to 25 is 0, 25 to 34 is 50%, or you can do like that, and anything above 34 is 85%. All right, so we got 52,000. The first 25,000 is free and clear. So we got the next 9,000, so 52,000, 25,000, 9,000, and whatever the remainder is there. So let me get my trusty calculator. Got 52,000 minus 25,000 minus 9,000, and that's 18,000. All right, so we got 18,000 left. So that's times 0.85, 0.5. All right, so we got 4,500, and then we got 18,000 times 0.85. So 15,300. So that's how much your Social Security will be taxed. 19,800. All right, 19,800 of her Social Security will be taxed. Let's just write that up here. Taxable SS. All right. All right. Good. So we're moving here. All right. Now, people are still here. That's good. So people aren't too bored yet, but the blackboard. I like that. All right, so we know we can get rid of that guy. And we know her pension. Did she say 32,000? All right. Oh. You say 32,000? 33,000. So it's, I'm off a little bit. Yeah, no, it wasn't Rise Up. It was Dana. It was Light Up. All right, why? I mean, why you gotta? This guy's an idiot. I don't get why some guy's got to get on here. Just be dumb. Weird to me. All right, whatever. So we got 19,800 is her taxable Social Security plus 32,000 pension. It's actually 33,000 and 19,800. All right, so what's that? You got 800, 51,000. So your AGI is 51,800. That's going to be AGI. Standard deduction, we'll say 13,600. What's that? It's going to be, what's that? 20. That's 200. 418 3,000. 38,200. That's right. I actually think Adrian might be hiding something. You know how the biggest name callers are usually the people who project the most. The biggest racists are the ones who call Trump the racist. It's funny. These people are saying, like, you're a racist. Like, yeah, these are the biggest racists. That's projection, man. That's why you got to laugh at these people. All right, so 38,200 will be your taxable income, which we know the first 10,000 bucks, 10%. There's going to be $1,000 of tax, and then 28,200 at 12%. And whatever that is, what's that? 28,000 times 0.12. It'll be roughly 3,300, Jill. So you're going to be paying, about roughly 4,360 or so in taxes, and that's before you factor in your great state of Indiana. And going back to the Patriots, remember the Patriots had a 21-3 lead with like 3 minutes left in the AFC Championship game at Indianapolis. And I'll never forget. So the Patriots gave up a touchdown right before the half was in, and they were still up 21-10. They had the ball. It was a 3rd and long. Brady passed to, I think it was Troy Brown. He got a first down, but there was a holding. And I'll never forget. It was like 5 minutes into the 3rd quarter. I remember thinking, that's bad. And sure enough, the Patriots, I think it was still pretty close, but after that, the Patriots were just kaboom. Freaking. All right, so that's how, yeah, 5% state and local for other income. So there you go. So you're going to be paying, that's, $4,300 on 32,000 of pension and 40,000 of Social Security. $4,300 on $70,000 of taxes. I mean, let's be realistic here. $4,300 on $70,000 of income. I mean, that's a 6% tax bracket. We'll just add another, $3,000 to Indiana, and it's the same in whatever state you are. I mean, any state, as long as your income's lower than 6 figures, as long as you're it's B2. As long as you're under 6 figures, and you give me a throw up to 150 or so, the state taxes aren't the problem. I don't care what state it is. The taxes are the problem from the feds. You can't escape it. You don't have to take Social Security at 70, but I mean, to be honest with you, Craig, it'd be stupid not to, just because it's your money. I don't know what they do if you said, I don't want to cash the check. I'm not sure how that works. I imagine you still get a 1099. So going back to Jill, we got, so what would happen, and I'm not going to do the other tax torpedo here again, but if we were to add another $20,000 of taxes here, oh boy, do I want to do that? I don't want to do that because I want to get to some questions. But let's just say we're adding another $20,000 of taxes. That'll probably cost us 30% in taxable income. So $20,000 would probably cost us $6,000 in taxes when all is said and done, because it'd make more of this provisional income, $19,800, it'd make it all taxable. So instead of having only half of her Social Security taxable, because remember she had $40,000 of Social Security, $20,000 is taxable. That's 50%. But adding another $20,000 required minimum distributions would then do what? It would make that whole 85% of her Social Security taxable. So 85% of $40,000 85%, oops, 40,000 bucks times 0.85. That means 34,000 of taxes. So I mean, here's what happens. See, this was freaking crazy. If she had $20,000 IRA distribution, it could be for Roth conversions, it could be RMDs. $20,000. She would have another, not only $20,000 of income on which to pay tax on, but she'd add another $14,000 there. So $20,000 distribution actually adds $34,000 of taxable income. That's the tax torpedo. It's nuts. And you can't just do Roth conversions to avoid it. The only thing you do is wait to take Social Security. Exactly. Do it after you take do it before you take Social Security. Don't do Roth conversions while you're taking Social Security. It just doesn't make sense. All right, so let's go down here and see what kind of questions we have. How long have we been on this guy? About an hour. Sweet. All right, cool. So I'm going to bring up I need to get one of those standing tables like Dozen has too. All right, so we got, all right, my man Bruce from, Roth, okay. All right, what are your views on California municipal bonds if you have a lot of money? So going back to taxable income, old school. What do you mean, Craig? I'm not. Anyway, old school. I like that. I'm just not sure what you mean by that. All right, so going back to provisional income. Whoever asked that question, which was Tim O'Daly. Yeah, Blackboard. No, I like that too, Craig. I'm not gonna get one of those Dustin things just because I just don't have the patience to figure out how to set it up. My wife is my mechanic of the house. I can put together raised beds and stuff like that, but when it comes to actually putting, my brain doesn't work that way, man. It just is weird. All right, so if you have tax-free income in municipal bonds, it's adding to your provisional income. Is adding to your modified adjusted gross income, so it's going to increase your taxable Social Security income, and it's going to increase your Medicare premiums, your IRMA income was related to Medicare Adjustment Act or something like that. So tax-exempt income, no, we don't want tax-exempt income if you're in a higher tax bracket. What's a higher tax bracket? 22, 24? I'd even say, hell, you don't want municipal bonds anyway. And hey, all right. Man, I love the blackboard or the whiteboard. All right, so let's go into it again. Our asset location mix. No municipal bonds. Negatory story. Now, my man Alberto in California, he's got 5% munis that he bought in 2010 at a steep discount. Yeah, hell, if you can get a 5% municipal bond, a GO, government obligation bond from the state of California, I'd take that 2 seconds flat. At a discount, you ain't getting that, though. I'm telling you right now. You're not getting that now. No way, no how. All right. So, taxable accounts. This is where your munis are. IRA, 401k, TSP, you name it. This is where most people have stocks. And then Roth. Hardly anyone has anything here, but if anything, they'll have a 50-50 portfolio. Everything is wrong about this. Everything is wrong about this. We want no munis, none. Stocks, corporate bonds, or government bonds. Stocks here. No. Then not 50-50, all stocks and REITs. If you're going to do high yield bonds, that's fine. High yield. I don't have any problem with high yield bonds. And then we want dividend payers. I'm sure you can read that fine. So no municipals. If you have ordinary bonds paying the ordinary income in here, we need to have a discussion. Wrong answer. Remember, bonds are ordinary income. No bonds, no municipals. Stocks not in your IRA. And the reason for that, and of course, look, at the end of the day, I don't want you to have any, oh boy, we got someone putting a lot of stuff in here. Oops. Hold on just a second. Why is that guy? All right, hold on just a second. Let me delete this guy. Hide user. All right. All right, so we don't want any of that stuff in there. None. I mean, and here's why we don't want stocks in there. You're taking all the risk, 100% of the risk, but you're only getting around 75% of the gain because the IRS has a lien on your property. Yeah, I do need some volunteer moderators. I don't know how to do that. I guess we got to figure it out. But yeah, no, absolutely. I'm sure there's a way I can actually turn over I'll have to look at it next time. I'll the first couple of people log in. I'll say, hey, can you just knock these ass clowns out? I'll do that next time. I know there's a way to do it. I'll do it. But I think I just got to add you to the thing. All right, so we don't want municipal bonds. No, we don't want corporate bonds in a taxable account. We want all growth stocks with no dividends in a taxable account. Growth stocks with no dividends. So I was telling my man Choi Mack the other day, and he said I could use his name, Choi Mack the DJ. I said what we want is we wanted VBK taxable. I didn't dry it off enough. That's why I keep ruining these pens. I could dry it better. Probably need to get a better t-shirt actually. It's been down here for a while. So we want VBK, and you don't have to have VBK. VBK, hey Mary. VBK is a Vanguard Small Cap Growth Fund. And then here we want VTV. That's a V, Victory Tango Victory, which is the Vanguard Large Cap ETF Value Fund. So the dividend here is about, I think it's 0.6% dividend yield. Hardly can give them any taxable income. Dividend here, I think, is 2.75. No taxable income because this is the Roth. This is the IRA, and this is the taxable. And for him, I said, look, man, I think he's going Wellington or something. I can't remember what we did, but Wellington. And so that's a 70-30. But Josh, you said no bonds in here. Well, that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, your bonds, you said no bonds, but at the end of the day, if you're going to have some bonds, having a Wellington fund works, and having it in here works fine. So you have large cap value, small cap growth. And I think he's going to have international index too. Something like that. I can't remember exactly. But small cap growth, large cap value, dividends, no dividends, just growth. And probably moderate growth, but it's all tax-free. And then here will be kind of, whatever Wellington does. That's what you should be doing right there. Hey, right on. My man says he paid off everything before retiring. Doesn't regret it at all. No, that's fantastic. You must be eating cat food and ramen noodles, though, because we're told you need $8 million to retire. And the irony of all that is that we have Massillon. Hey, all right, so who knows who's famous from Massillon, Ohio? Anyone? Massillon, Ohio. You have to be probably my age and growing up in the 70s and 80s and been a football fan to know Massillon, Ohio. Let's see if anyone knows the answer to that. He was on the cover of a Wheaties box a long time ago. And I'll give it a second because there's more to the story. All right. No, Bo Jackson. Mike Schott is from there? Like Marge Schott's daughter or son? Susie Orman? Linebacker from OSU. Yep, Spielman. Yeah, right on. Chris Spielman, who said playing in a dome was a communist conspiracy. Oh, when he said that, he melted my heart. I freaking hate domes. I hate AstroTurf, always have. Oh, yeah. Yep, Chris Spielman, man. Yep. All right. Forgot what I was saying. All right, so let's see. Oh, my man Tom said after death on the CCRC that his dad went to assisted living facility, they got 90% of the payment back. Let me just go over that real quick. That's actually pretty interesting. And I forgot what we're talking about here. But anyway, so on a continuing care retirement community, I get this question a lot. Do I need long-term care? Look, I got long-term care. If you want long-term care, that's fine. I would get it through a life insurance policy that has a rider so you can take something out for an accelerated death benefit, long-term care. I just don't. I think the long-term care insurance market is so we don't know what it is. No one knows. No one's been able to price it correctly. I think it's tough and it's expensive. The reason I have it is because if something were to happen to this noggin of mine where I needed to go to a facility, my wife would be in a world of hurt. We got this freaking house to pay for, man. She's not making enough money at her CPA firm, just filing taxes to get that, and especially to pay for the insurance for us. So we need it for sure. It's a hedge. Literally, that's what a hedge is for. All right, but CCRCs, I'm a fan of, and I forgot the guy's name, man. Brad Breeding, I think. Is that his name? I think I hate to put you off in a wild goose chase. Brad Breeding, I think, is the guy who writes something. He has a website on long-term care facilities, CCRCs. Joe Namath, Michelle, Joe Namath from Ohio. Joe Namath and Ken Stabler are Alabamians. That was the whole irony about Joe Namath playing for the Jets and being Broadway Joe. He's from Alabama. And Ken Stabler, too. I love the Raiders growing up. PA? I didn't know that. Oh, sorry, man. All right, let's erase all that. I thought Joe Namath was Alabama. He's from Pennsylvania? All right, well, I take that back. Then Ken Stabler's from Alabama. All right, wait, CCRCs, continuing care retirement communities. What you do is you have a funding fee to get in. And the funding fees are pretty expensive. $300,000, $400,000 for you and your spouse, $200,000 depending on where you live. The irony of it all is the continuing care retirement communities to get in, the cost are roughly the average of an upper echelon home in that community around there. So we look at Lanier Village Estates, up Lake Lanier Village Estates up in Lawrenceville, about an hour northeast of here. And it costs about $350,000 to get in. If you look at the community around Lanier Village on the upper echelon of the homes, about $350,000 is the average sale price. Imagine that. How ironic and what a coincidence that is. That's the ticket to get in. Now, for husband and wife, they're going to have fees you got to pay for. And it's actually not a bad deal because they cover your air conditioning, they cover your cable bill, they cover everything. You got these independent communities, you'll lose cottages you can go into, and then once you leave the cottage, because you have to, you need someone to watch out for you, go from the cottage to the assisted living and then skilled care. Now, I used to be a security guard. One of the first jobs I had when I got out of the Army, they had one in right off Occoquan in Virginia. So right off 123 in Woodbridge, I think. I can't remember. But anyway, and I'll never forget, I didn't know that. Montana's from Pennsylvania? All right, forget that. I'm acting like I'm a big freaking knowledgeable football fan. I had no clue. Montana? I thought it was from California. I guess because Brady's a fan, he was from California. Well, I knew Marino was. He went to Pittsburgh. I did know that. Well, anyway. So what happens is, as security guard these places, and they have these independent cottages. I'll never forget it. Almost every night they have a 911 call, and you have to go down there, and we'd have to go see the people who were having issues, and we have to move the mom. The husband's always the first go. We have to move the mom, get the husband on a gurney and all that. And I just kind of sit there and I'd help out when I could. But then the mom would have to move into from the independent care into assisted living, if that makes sense. Sometimes the husband wouldn't die. He had an aneurysm or a stroke, and now he had to go to skilled care. So they had these independent living facilities, townhomes, cottages, and then they moved from there to there. And I just remember seeing it firsthand. And every night there'd be a 911 call. It's crazy. So anyway, what happens the nice thing about the CCRCs is you are guaranteed access to skilled care. You got to watch out your contract, though. Got to watch out your contract to make sure that it says that. And what happens is it's all on the same price. It says, I pay $5,000 a month for this facility, which covers 2 meals a day. You get, you can have a buffet or a continental breakfast and all that. I pay $5,000 a month or whatever the costs are. And no matter what happens, if I need skilled care, it's still $5,000 a month. It'll be adjusted for inflation, of course, but they can't raise the price because you need skilled care. I'm a huge fan of that kind of stuff. Huge. Anyway, so my man Tom was saying his dad paid $260 to get in, but I presume he died there, and so he got 90% of that back. because you can do that. You can make a contract. So I'm going to pay my entrance fee of $260, but if I sign a certain contract, I get 90% of it back. In other cases, if you don't get a refund, it'll be $200,000 as opposed to $260 or something like that. I'm a fan. I tell my wife all the time. When we're up in that time frame for us to do something like that, that's exactly where we're going. And I'm telling you, man, I went to had a couple of friends of mine up in Chattanooga. They're older than me, and they hired me, and they, were just good people. And we went. I did some investigation on the Lanier Village CCRC, Continuing Care Retirement Community. And these guys are sprite. I mean, these guys are just, they're good looking, athletic. They're just they're 70 and 71 or 69 and 71, something like that. But when I went to the CCRC, I said, you guys aren't going to fit in here. And they're like, why? I said, because these people they seem much older than you. Because once you go to those facilities, you age quickly because you're really dealing with a lot of older people. And even though it's active kind of, it's just not the same. But anyway, I told my wife, said, man, when we get that thing, we're selling the house and getting to a CCRC and being done with it. Because when I get dementia, she won't have to move. She'll be able to put me across the hall essentially. And then at the end of the day, she will be there as well. And will also be able to stay in house. It's a good thing. There's not, you don't have to, they're not mutually exclusive, Jill. You can do a reverse mortgage, absolutely. And then say, if it's time to go to a CCRC, you just sell the house. Now, I mean, if you have a line of credit you've been using in which to live on, you're not gonna get the same proceeds that you would if you did not have a line of credit to live on. And what I mean, if you're using the line of credit, if the line of credit is just sitting there, that's no big deal. I mean, you sell the house and go into CCRC. But if the line of credit is sitting there for you to use and you're using that, because the line of credit does grow. The line of credit grows, but don't forget also the interest grows as well that you got to pay back even though you don't have a payment. So, but if you have the line of credit open, which you should do, bar none, at 62 years old, get that sucker open, just if nothing else to have it there. Then if you sell the house 20 years later, it's no harm, no foul. If you haven't used it, just sell it and use that as an interest fee to the CCRC. All right, so what else? Let's see here. Yeah, muni bonds with a guaranteed 4%, says my man Craig. I mean, if you can get them, I'm all for it. But there's no way you're gonna. Well, I don't know about that. I better be careful given my Joe Namath thing. A guaranteed 4% on a municipal bond. If it's a GO means government obligated, which means it's less risky theoretically. Hard to see how you're getting that without paying a significant premium. Now, I don't know what state it is. I imagine Illinois, you could probably get a 4% municipal bond without paying a big premium. But if it's a well-run state, New Hampshire, well, I guess it wouldn't be New Hampshire. I'm sure they have municipal bonds, but there's no state income tax there. But let's say you live in what's a well-run state? Arizona? I don't know. I forget. Georgia's a pretty well-run state. You're not hard to imagine getting a 4% municipal bond without paying a significant premium. That's for sure. Don't like gold ETFs. If you're doing gold, just get gold. Rob says he called Vanguard to start Roth conversions from former employer. Was supplies to learn. There's a max amount of transfers I can do from my 401k. Huh. Yeah, so each 401k plan, employer-sponsored plan, can make it more limited than the ERISA, the Employee Retirement Income Security Act. So just keep that in mind. Just because ERISA allows X, your 401k plan cannot allow more than X, but it certainly doesn't have to allow up to X. It's a big deal. Yeah, I don't know how you hold gold in an IRA. Actual gold, I'm not sure how you do that. There are people that say you can. I just don't know how. But I mean, there are websites and stuff that say you can. Yeah, then Rob says because he had limits on how many partial transfers he could do in a year, he's going to roll his whole 401k to an IRA at Vanguard and start doing Roth conversions and chunks. Right on, man. Buy my gold from a JM Bullion. We talked about that. Okay. I've been paying okay. What about gold do you own but is held for you in bonded? Where else? I don't get your question, Ken. I'm not following that question, man. I'm retired. So Steve E. says he's retiring and in 1.5 years selling his home and buying an RV, traveling around the country until I can't drive anymore. Mom and dad retired with $500,000 and lost it all to nursing homes. Yeah. Well, I got another guy in here, man. We got a lot of people who are not comfortable with their own sexuality, that's for sure. I don't get it. Last week, someone said, say game on something. I forgot what it was. It cracked me up and I forgot. I was going to tell it to my wife. I was being, all right, so I got lots of people who are driving around the country on the RVs, man. It's crazy. It's pretty cool. My man Vic says, Steve, rent an RV before you buy one. I know a guy that did that and did not like the RV experience at all. That's a great point. Yeah, definitely rent an RV. Right on. Bruce ate some carrots and now he's dead because if you eat carrots, you'll die. What time are you starting Sunday night get together? I thought you said 5 p.m. Pacific time. Yeah, that's right. Craig, 8 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, you got it. My man Sean met at a Bruins game. Oh, man, that's awesome. Were there any Pats fans before Brady? You got to be kidding me, Kevin. Ever heard of Steve Grogan, man? Steve Grogan. Who did Jim Punk? Freaking, number 16 for the Raiders. Plunkett from Stanford. Jim Plunkett. Who did he play for before he won a Super Bowl with the Raiders? Huh? Who was he drafted by? Sam Bam Cunningham? Yeah. I puked him. All right. The NFL, let's see. Led Zeppelin's banned in Boston? What? It's crazy. All right. NFL equals CTE. How come I hear this all the time? All right, look, man, not trying to question Kevin, but we got all these football players. Chris Spielman, in fact, comes to mind. He called the Falcons game today. He doesn't have it. I mean, this idea that all these, and what's his name? Oh, geez Louise, I am drawing a blank on that guy's name. The Canadian guy, revisionist, his Malcolm Gladwell. He did this screeching diatribe against the NFL because of concussions. I said, where's the evidence, dude? I want to see the evidence that concussions caused from the NFL, never mind all other contact football, are more prevalent than any other sporting event or just any other thing, because we have tons of evidence showing that it's not. Chris Spielman, you can look at them all. Now, do NFL players, Earl Campbell got torn to hell, I get that, but it wasn't CTE as far as I'm aware. We got tons of guys calling games. I mean, hell, Roger Staubach is still out there running around, and he played in the real day of football. Who was it? Now, Terry Bradshaw. He's still running around there acting crazy. My man, Airborne Guy. We are 59 years old, never got long-term care. The plan is lawnmower exhaust. Nice, man. I hear that all the time. Never been a fan of Pink Floyd, though. In the meantime, living on $9K a year, enjoying life without working. Yeah. We got, my gosh, that's from my wife. Oh. That is classic. That is classic, man. Steve, I think Steve said that. Why is Josh in the basement? I got banned. My wife said, get out of here. Actually, I invited Pablo to come down with me. Larry Zonka. He doesn't got CTE, does he? I don't think so. Target date or choose funds for... I actually did. Yeah, I did a thing on Boeing, Matthew. I did a thing on Boeing, so you don't want target funds. Just choose some funds. Just the index funds to be done with it. Why am I in the basement? I invited Pablo to come down here. My wife said, no, she wants to snug with Pablo. I said, but I want to snug with Pablo. He's the star of the show. And if I had Pablo down here, more people log in here. Ay. AB is one weird dude. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Any good shopping stories? Any good shopping stories? Oh, man, you on to football. Yeah, right. You get the senior deduction. That's exactly right, to 27K. 100%, Steve. So my man said, I thought the standard Jack said, I thought the standard deduction is 24,000. Once you're over 65, you get a little bit more. It's 27,000 this year for 65 and above. let's see. Did someone piss me off? Just the whole shenanigans of Greta von Thornburg, whatever her name is. I'll never get mad at Pablo, man. Pablo's the man. All right, let's see. I decided to get taxed today. That's money I would have invested in the market. Amazing. Okay. All right, let's see. Never mind, I'm wrong. Hey, Josh, you got to get one of those. I started out happy. Now I'm depressed because old Josh, yep. So put money in Roth IRAs, roll with the Roth IRAs, and there's no RMD. Absolutely, man. If you, Roth 401ks, there's RMDs, just to be clear there. But you put money in the Roth and be done with it. But again, going back to my friend here, Jill, I don't see the benefit of her putting money into Roth. Once she hits, stops working. I just don't see it. At least while she's taking Social. Let me backtrack. If you're single, doing Roth conversions before you take Social Security makes sense. Without question, it does. Without question. Let me get to that here in just a second, Mike. Good question. I want to revisit that. But when you're single, once you're taking Social Security, it doesn't make sense to pull that money forward because you're just going to pay more taxes today than you would have if you just waited. I mean, they're going to get you one way or another, but if you're single, you're not facing higher taxes necessarily than you would if you were married for sure. All right. Man, Jerry says, I'm going to be poor as hell in retirement. Man, see, that's what I'm talking about. I talk about this all the time. What is the government tax you on? They tax you on your 1040. Where do you get your premiums? Now, Medicaid is a little bit different, and no one should be trying to go to Medicaid. I want to be very clear on that. They look at your assets there. I don't know any other government program that looks at your assets. They look at your income, and your income is such that they're going to say, hey, Jerry, you're a freaking pauper, dude. You got no taxable income, so we're going to give you food stamps. And Jerry's sitting there like freaking Mr. Burns saying, excellent, because he has all this Roth IRA money coming out of him. It's not reported on the 1040. So Jerry goes down to his local welfare office, says, hey, I need some welfare money. And they say, let me see your 1040. It looks like he's a pauper. Of course, Jerry dresses in his 1972 Miami Dolphins undefeated shirt that has beer stains on it and friggin' nacho cheese grease on there, and he gets welfare money just like that. But he's living like a freaking, he's living like a champ because he's got all his Roth IRA money coming out of him. Now, if they ask for 1099 info, that's different. But hey, if they don't ask for it, don't volunteer. The Jerry marrying welfare queen. If I could convert every dollar in my traditional to a Roth at 24%, I'd do the whole thing tomorrow. Yeah. Yep. I think the tax torpedo is worse than paying for health insurance for five. I kind of agree with that, Jill. The tax torpedo, it stays forever. That's 100% around it. And if I may too, so you get the ACA premiums. But but that will stop once Medicare kicks in. The tax torpedo, though, not only does it stay there forever, but it actually could make your Medicare quadruple as you get older and have to take more RMDs out as well. And that never goes away. I want to talk about Secure Act actually real quick. I'll get back to some of the comments. The thing that's going to pass, and there's no way this won't become law. I mean, it's just this, Congress or Senate is back in session now. They'll pass that. And it's bad because what it does, again, it consolidates the amount of time that non-spouse beneficiaries have to take those inherited IRAs out. And I was talking to this guy the other day, and I was like, man, let's just say you have a daughter, and she's freaking making $100,000 a year. We'll just use that for an example. And all of a sudden, she inherits your $500,000 IRA. She's going to have to take that out within 5 years or 10 years, whatever. The Senate wants 5, the House wanted 10. I assure you there'll be compromise more towards the 5 rather than the 10. So she has 5 years to empty that $500,000 traditional IRA. So she can do it over 5 years, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000, 100,000. But you'll have $100,000 of IRA distributions, 100% taxes, OI, ordinary income, on top of her $100,000 of income she already makes. And if she's single, she's going to get killed. Now, if she makes a mistake and does the whole 500,000 because she has to exhaust the whole thing all one fell swoop anyway, she's gonna have $500,000 on top of the $100,000. All right, now I mean, just the freaking thing is nuts, man. So then she'll have the Obamacare surtax of 3.8% on any non-earned income. She'll have. I mean, the taxes are gonna go through the roof on this. And something else I want to talk about too. Medicare. Everyone focuses on Social Security, which I think is silly. Social Security is fine, without question. Medicare is not. Medicare is the freaking the monster hiding under your bed for sure. Medicare is it. It's bad. It's only getting worse too. And I've been doing all these videos today on this huge transformation of the shift that we have, baby boomers, whatnot too. But it's there's no money to pay for this stuff. And if you think they're not going to look at your 1040 and say, hey, Jill, you paid $88,000 and you had $50,000 IRA, so you broke the $100,000 threshold, pay us more. Yeah, that's going to happen, man. I mean, without question. All right, so I keep getting this question about DSTA. So let's see. I got a couple people asking that. What happened? Trying to find DSTA. Yeah, if you want to. Oh, all right, here we go. What do you do for a big age difference Roth conversion? My wife's 68. I'm 61. We'll take us 70 now. 80% of IRA money is in her name. She'll have to take RMDs in 2 years. I'm confused. What do you do with it? What do you mean? Like, should you start doing Roth conversions? Yeah. So your wife's got the IRA in her name, in her own name, but she's much older than you. I don't think that. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just remember, one of you are going to be in a higher tax bracket because one of you is going to die. So absolutely, I would definitely do that for sure. Roth conversions, and that if you're married, you should be doing Roth conversions. Is the way I look at it. Absolutely, to avoid the widow's tax trap. All right, let's see what we're talking about here. All right, hold on just a second. Yeah, see, how did you? A lot of stuff about. I suggested backdoor Roth conversions, and there was a question of what that was. So, Josh, if you want to go over it, retired at 64 at $2,200 a month plus $500 a month immediate annuity for life. Wife works with over $100,000 in 401k. Yeah, right on. Exactly. So here's my man Buddy, retired at 64 with $2,200 in a month with I presume that's Social Security with $500 a month and an immediate fixed annuity. Oh no, annuities are evil. Evil, says everybody. And his wife has $100,000. Wife is still working, and she has $100,000 in 401k. It can happen, without question. All right. They should be teaching stuff in school, not going to college, getting in debt. Someone on my YouTube post today said, I forgot who it was, but she said that there's not enough tradespeople, electricians, and basic plumbing skills to deal with the maintenance that's coming down the pike to do these to do these fixing of these houses when these older people sell their homes. They're gonna need a lot of maintenance on those, a lot of renovations. There's not enough people who can do that stuff. I completely agree. But we're going to tell everybody to go to college so we can educate them, i.e. educate them on the ways of the left. I mean, let's just be honest with you. College is not for open-minded people anymore. I'm sorry to say, man, it's just not. And I have a daughter in there for sure, but it's not. It's completely one-sided, and they shouldn't get taxpayers' dollars anymore if they're going to be that one-sided. Oh, you're being anti-intellectual. No, screw that, man. You guys jumped the shark. You guys in college. It's academia. It's not even the professors are bad enough, but now it's the administrators. They need to freaking go get a real job. I interviewed once. It was Colorado State University. It was a couple of years ago. I said, I've always thought I'd be pretty good at being a fundraiser. Let me be a fundraiser. So I thrown out some resumes because I was getting frustrated with my commute. And I said, what am I going to do? And I just, this right, probably in the latter part of 2016. I'll never forget, I was talking to this guy, is some Spanish guy and 3 women in the fundraising department. And they asked me, they said, what are you going to do for diversity and inclusion? I was like, huh? Diversity and inclusion? And I was like, I don't even know what that means. I mean, I knew what it meant. I kind of knew where it was going. I said, well, I'm a poor white kid from an island off the coast of Maine. I'm not sure how much more diverse you're going to get. And they didn't take kindly to that because I said the evil words. I'm a white guy. Oh my God, you're a white guy. Whoa, that's not diversity and inclusion. I'm sitting there thinking, well, I got a Spanish guy and 3 women interviewing me. I see no white guys, and you're the ones talking to me about diversity and inclusion. Yeah, when I hear that term, diversity and inclusion, I know what you mean. No white guys want it. I get that. And I said, this is friggin' nuts. And the funny thing was, I guarantee they're not good at raising money. You know why? Because they go into it with this, we're from college, we need to get more diversity and inclusion. And most people you're trying to separate from their money, they want to hear how they can make themselves feel good, not how they can make you feel good about your diversity and inclusion when you never had a real job. Oh, yeah, it's nuts. It's funny, but anyway, it's funny. I said, yeah, you ever met a white kid from an island off the coast of Maine? No, I haven't. Okay, so that's diverse, right? That's not really what we're looking for. Yeah, I got you. I knew it was. We all know where this is going, man. I said, come on. Enough of that. All right, Target. Oh, we talked about that. All right, gotcha. My man Sean says he loves me. Dude, I'm taken, brother. I got Charlotte and then I got Pablo waiting in this. I might have to go Pablo first. I got Charlotte and Pablo. All right, so let's see what else we got here. All right, I put 11%, my man, obsessed. He's obsessed of being a DIY. Good. I put 11% of my 401k. Should I put all of it into the Roth 401k? Man, maybe. Sorry about the grease on my forehead here, guys. Look, my little balding spot there. Yeah, my wife called that my cul-de-sacs, but it's just sweaty down here. I got that big light there. That's only, an LED bulb is only about 5 watts too, and that sucker's still hot. It's not supposed to be hot, right? But anyway, obsessed. Man, it's tough, man. It's tough. If you're married, yes. If you're not married, no. I mean, that's kind of like my default. If you're married, you should. If you're not married, you should not. And the reason is because if you're married, you are going to be in a higher tax bracket in the future, guaranteed. If you're not married, it's hard to say. So I'd have to say, given that you're saying you're going to pay significant taxes now, if you're married, yes, pay significant taxes now and avoid in the future. If you're not married, it's a tough one there. All right, so my man Steve Brooks, still have 2 years before RMD, then the hell begins. Have over $1 million between 2 IRAs. 200 thus far in a Roth. That's still pretty good, man. That's still pretty good. I can't convert fast enough. Right on, man. All right, so let's keep going down here. You got it, Sean, or you got it, Craig. Oh, thanks. Oh, never mind. You weren't saying thanks to me. Sorry about that. But anyway, thanks. You got that. Yeah, Vic says the question to use a Roth 401k versus regular is a tough one. I wish I would have done Roth 401k, but wasn't available and was working. Yeah. My man Money Matters says, Josh, have you done a video on best types of income to have lower taxable income? Yeah, absolutely. Qualified QDI, qualified dividend income, absolutely. You should absolutely think about your getting Social Security, man. The idea that Social Security is going away is silly. Don't listen to these fools who say that. It'd be insane not to use that in your planning. I get people want to I want to see if I can do it on my own. Why would you do that? It's there, and if you don't manage it correctly, you're going to pay more taxes. I can't tell you how many people, more younger people too, millennials, not even millennials so much, but maybe 10 years behind me. I want to do a plan, but I don't want to include Social Security because I'm really worried it won't be there. And I'm like, okay, but then this plan is not worth crap. Because if we're not planning on your Social Security, we certainly can't plan on tax planning because we have to incorporate Social Security. Don't do that. Social Security is going to be there. Medicare is a big one right there for sure. Hey, man, my insight gave Sean the insight to take the early retirement. So 2 years from now, when Sean's broke, he's like, damn you, Josh, damn you. And then he'll realize I was actually a New York Giants fan. I tricked him thinking he was a homeboy. And Eli Manning's my favorite. David Tyrell, Mario Manningham. Hey, right on. Okay. My man Gavin, have a 4.2% CD that'll be over 4 years. If I could find a 4% return other than utilities and stock market, I'd be on it. Man, if you got 4.2 CD, brother, you're in a good place. Josh, back to gold ETFs. The money's in my IRA. Yeah, man. Mike C says I can't have gold in my IRA. Should gold ETFs will be substitute? See, that's the difference. This is what we look at. The stock of a company versus the actual company are two completely different things. And yeah, I think it would be, Mike. Absolutely. I mean, if you look at gold from 2000 2011, it freaking kicked butt and took names for sure. And that's the gold ETFs I'm saying. So it was a huge help to people without question, regardless if you own the bullion or not. The gold ETF kicked butt and took names for sure. You got it, Sean. See you, man. Tough to do this, Josh. When we're drilled for 30 years, I've worked to put all of our money into 401k. No, I got it, Vic. Absolutely. I tell you. And no freaking tax guys talking about it either, because they say kick the can down the road, defer, defer, defer. It's just what they say. All right. All right. How do I get rich? I invented an app that shows people how to find jobs on YouTube. Need to buy stock in Newell Brands, the maker of race market. That's right. Backdoor Roth. So backdoor Roth isn't all. There's a couple ways people look at this. Yeah, I saw the Browns guy. Their uniforms looked horrid too, by the way. Bring back the old Brian Sipe uniforms, man. I like those. The backdoor Roth. So if you have no traditional IRA, or you can put $6,000 into a traditional IRA, non-deductible, and convert it over to a Roth. That's one version of the backdoor Roth, which works great. You can't contribute directly to a Roth. You put it in traditional IRA. Hey, thanks for $2, man. Being a fan of the worst man, take that money back. I'm not a fan of Eli Manning. Not. I was just joking. Which is why I stopped watching the Patriots, because after watching against the Giants, against the Ravens in the AFC Championship, and then against the Giants again, it was the Giants, Ravens, I think it was. I said, I can't take this. My heart is too thin. Anyway, so the backdoor Roth, you put a certain amount of money into a traditional IRA. It's a non-deductible IRA because you can't take the tax deduction. Then you convert it to a Roth. That's one of the things. The other one is you put a certain amount of money into your 401k, and then if they allow you to immediately convert it to a Roth IRA, you can, or a Roth 401k. It's kind of how it works. They call that a backdoor because you make too much money to contribute directly, but you still have the access to it. The drawback about doing it for the 401k option is that because the employer-sponsored plan can be a lot more stringent on your ability to have access to that money, they might not allow you to roll that to an IRA, a Roth IRA at that point, if that makes sense. It's tough. But the easiest backdoor Roth is I contribute to a non-deductible traditional IRA, $6,000, and even after a day, I just move that to a Roth. It works like a charm. If you have other IRAs, you got to be careful. This isn't going to work because what's called the pro rata or the aggregation rules, I don't want to get into that, but if you have an IRA or a SEP IRA or a simple IRA, I think the SEP qualifies, I can't remember. But if you have an IRA of any sort and you try to do the backdoor Roth, it won't work. It just won't work. But I think the backdoor Roth a lot of times gets overused, like it's everybody has access to it through their employer, and just a very few that I've seen have access to do that. It's not even a backdoor Roth. It's like the old stretch IRA concept. No one has a stretch IRA. It's just, you can increase your life expectancies of your non-spousal beneficiary. They can stretch the IRA distributions, but there's no backdoor Roth in the tax code, no stretch IRA in the tax code. So you just got to be careful there. It's not really be careful, but Craig says, I like your bucket 1, total stock, international cash bucket, 2, Wellington cash. Yeah, no, right on. All right, no debt's the key. Yep. Yeah, Kurt Warner stocked Wheaties bottle, yeah. The wife and I, Buddy says, the wife and I clear $62,000 a year with money to spare. Again, but you got to have $8 million. All right. Okay, let's see what else. Can I do numbers without pension, just IRA withdrawals and Social Security? I think I did that actually. So that's on there. I did it with just the Social Security at $40,000 and the it doesn't matter. So instead of it being that's what it is. Hey, thanks, you got it. So instead of doing instead of looking at the pension, BOLA or I guess BOLA New York, you just say that would be your RMD. So if we had 40,000 Social Security, 32,000 pension. The 32,000 doesn't matter if it's from a pension or from an IRA or even earned income. It doesn't matter. It's the 32,000 is just from any place other than Social Security. But literally that 32,000, I mean, it could even in terms of provisional income, could be tax exempt income. It won't be taxable as an income tax, but it certainly will add to your tax bracket when it comes to calculating how much of your Social Security is. So don't let that 32,000 pension throw you off. It could be 30,000 or 32,000 IRA distribution. It could be 32,000 of earned income. It could be 32,000 of taxable interest. The word after the 32,000 is irrelevant in that regard, if that makes sense. It's the Social Security plus this other form of income. Okay. I buy my gold from that nut that used to be on Fox. Glenn Beck. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Glenn Beck. Spouse passed away at 56. You inherit the TSP. You're 61. What are the rules for what can be done with the TSP? I did a thing on BPA's Pop Stew, beneficiary participant account. I have a blog post on that at my website, Heritage Wealth Planning. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But I did a pretty lengthy blog post on that. So it's not good. TSP is bad for spousal beneficiaries. It's bad for non-spousal beneficiaries even. It's just there's not many options. So look up the beneficiary participant account. It can be kind of painful without question, especially if it's left from you to the wife to non-spouse beneficiaries after a BPA. It's nuts. So you got to be careful there. My RV is waiting to retire next summer. Right on, man. All right. Rent, okay. Jim Plunkett, there you go. All the great old past. Remember John Hanna, Steve Nelson? Oh, man, that was just fun with Pat the Patriot. Oh, that's just awesome. Lawnmower exhaust. I would have 500 people if Pablo was on here, no doubt, man. Mike, here we go. So Mike says, do another video, the best investing for a retirement plan, and found it very intriguing. Do the same 4 or 5 funds still apply today? Yeah, I talk about Wellington a lot, Mike, and my concern is that the bonds, they supported Wellington quite a bit back in the 2000s, that's for sure. I don't see it going forward. I just don't. And I talked about that a lot with bonds recently. Bonds, you're getting a certain rate of return. You're not getting any more or any less than that. I posted a link on my community page on the Heritage Wealth Planning YouTube channel with a quote from Christine Benz from Morningstar today. So look, I'm not some high mighty I'm just some dude in my basement in my t-shirt and my freaking shorts. That's it, with a little pup dog pissing on my floor here. But Christine Benz is legit. She's with Morningstar, lives in Chicago. She probably drinks freaking Starbucks, maca, latte, whatever, pumpkin spice and stuff. I just drink Walmart coffee, you know what I'm saying? And but she said exactly what I've been saying. If you have a bond and it's paying you 2%, you're not going to get much more than 2% or much less than 2%. You'll get 2%. And I'm just telling you. So I put a link to that Morningstar. They just did it today, the Morningstar YouTube thing. And you can listen to that and understand how bonds work. It's literally that simple. Bonds are easy to ascertain. Wellington has a number of these bonds in there. So the bonds will give you the cushion. Hey, thanks, Rob. Rob, you're a good man. I don't care if the Steelers are, actually, I don't even know what's the score right now. And also, who won the U.S. Open? I cannot believe I'm asking people who won a tennis match. It's nuts. If you would have told me freaking 2 years ago, I'd be asking people who won a tennis match. I would have thought, I would have thought either A, I'd be more likely to vote for Bernie. NATO won? Damn. I was hoping for the Medved guy. I liked him. I like the bad boys. The bad boys. But if someone said, I would have thought, man, I'd vote for Hillary before I vote for Trump, before I asked who won a tennis match. What the hell? Next thing I know, I'd be rooting for golf? No! 17-0 Steelers? Damn. Oh, that's painful. Oh, I hate the Steelers. Oh, why'd you say that, Jerry? Jeez, man. See, why do you care? But I do. I don't know why. Hey. What do I think of CEFs that are leveraged? I don't know what a CEF is, man. I'm not sure what a CEF is, so sorry. I don't know. Anyway, do the same 5 funds still apply today? Wellington still, but the issue going back to the bonds. So they carried the day in 2000 to 2011, 2009, excuse me. The bonds did. They did, without question. I was a kind of welfare queen. I was just saying, man, if you got no income on your 1040, you can get all the welfare you want, Jerry. Hell, you pay tax for it, might as well. 17-0 Pats. Take that, Tomlin. Take that. And on top of that, we got Antonio Brown waiting to come in next week. Woohoo! This can be good. Oh, man. Roman Gabriel. Remember James Harris from the Rams? I used to love all the black quarterbacks. Before it was cool to love black quarterbacks. I love James Harris and Vince Evans. Of course, I love Doug Williams. When Doug Williams played for Tampa Bay, I love that guy. I thought no one looked better in a uniform. Look, I love ladies. I'm not going to lie to you. But I thought Doug Williams was just in that freaking orange creamsicle. He's a dark black guy in that white hat. I thought that was just, he looked freaking awesome. It's like if you're going up to face like Bob Gibson. You know what I'm saying? Like Bob Gibson, he just looked like he would kill you. And that was a little bit before my time, but that guy just looked like he'd blow you up. I said, man, that guy looks like an athlete who's going to freaking run you over. Oh, man, and Earl Campbell. Remember Earl Campbell with those light powder blue and those huge thighs? Oh, my goodness. I mean, that was with football. So he had the creamsicle colors of the Tampa Bay Bucks with the kind of effeminate guy up here, you know what I'm talking about, what they call effeminate. That was, oh man, and the white pants and that just white helmet was just fantastic. Then you had the light blue, powder blue of the Houston Oilers. I mean, even though Houston played in a dome, which sucked, Tampa played on grass. And when they went to NFC Championship against the Rams, I still liked the Rams because they had, Vince Ferragamo was coming out and playing. Everyone's like the Rams, and that they hadn't done anything. And all my cousins lived in Los Angeles, so by default, I loved all the LA teams. And of course, my grandpa, he had season tickets to the Raiders, so I was a huge Raiders fan too. But man, I remember the NFC Championship, the Rams against the Bucks. I was like, oh, who am I going to go for? Bucko Bruce. Was that his name? Bucko Bruce. That could not, like Pat the Patriot, but Bucko Bruce. Oh my God. Oh, Bucko Bruce. Oh. Oh man. Oh, Bucko Bruce. What? What would you call Bucko Bruce? That just that the name fits the wink. All right, Fran Tarkington, Randall Cunningham. No, Randall Cunningham. That was because I hated the Eagles, man. And the Eagles, I hated them because back then. So by then, I was in D.C. So I moved to '84 into D.C. And Bo Jackson was freaking awesome. I've been a huge Bo Jackson fan. But I moved to D.C. and I'll never forget. We moved to D.C. and they had like the street cans. I know it's. I think because I'm standing up here, Scott, and it's football season. As much as I don't really watch it, I still pay attention to the stats and whatnot. But anyway, so we moved to D.C. and I'll never forget. We're going through and they had the freaking The trash cans were painted burgundy and gold with the Redskins, you know, insignia. It was awesome, man. You're going like, oh, you couldn't help but watch. And then Doug Williams came to the Redskins, right? So Doug Williams, he went to the USFL with the Houston, was it Houston? No, it was Oklahoma Outlaws, I think. And I always followed Doug Williams. I love the USFL. And then he came to the Redskins after the USFL, and I think it was during the strike. Or I can't remember. But anyway, he came to the Redskins. I was like, holy crap. And when he won the Super Bowl, or they did, with Timmy Lewis, and he ran for like 206 yards or something like that. You know, I lived in Maryland, went to the parade. Don't tell anybody, but we were drinking. Because in D.C., you could be, I think, 18 to drink back then. And I wasn't 18, but we were drinking beers. And my wife, 2B, was at the parade too from Virginia. Now, we didn't connect, but just who knows? Maybe she poked me in the butt and said, get out of here, ugly. But I don't know. But we did go down to D.C. We saw the parade together with Doug Williams holding the thing. Ah, good times, man. You know, that's how boring my life is. That's one of the highlights right there. All right, you have too much warm moon. I guess that's it, man. I'm getting tired now. All right, so I'm glad the Pats are up. Oh, best NFL quarterbacks, man. That'd be freaking awesome. All right. I guess we're done, man. I appreciate y'all being here for sure. It's fun. I'm definitely make sure, and you know, obviously, that's too bad about Nadal. I was hoping the Russian guy would win, even though my wife was going for Nadal. She's into it big time. Freaking Jerry. I wasn't calling you a welfare. I'm just saying when you have no money, you get all this money thrown at you. In fact, real quick, I was reading it. I don't know if I got it up here. It might have. Hold on just a second. All right. Yes. You probably won't be able to see this, but that's Census Bureau stuff. And Census Bureau stuff is interesting. Here's California. No, here's the whole U.S. It's oh man, I had it on here. It's interesting. It says number of people. This is where I'm still confident in the U.S. Let me just see if I can't find this. I'm not going to find it on the fly. Shoot. Number of people qualified for food stamps. It says that. And then it says number of people who accept. I'm telling you, man, right here. So they do, this is fantastic. They have $121,000 households of the United States that they're looking at. Of those households, this is just their sample size. 89,000 families and primary, and I don't know how they're exactly doing this, but they have 89,000 families are eligible to receive food stamps. This will give you hope. 73,000 did not. And they go by state by state. Here's California. This is crazy. I saw this. I said, man, that gives me hope. We are not a nation of cheats. They got, in California, again, this is sample size, 9,350 sample size population were eligible to receive food stamps. 857 did. 7,825 did not. That's in California. Sample size. Basically 10,000 people were eligible. Less than 10% received them. That's fantastic, man. That made me very, very happy. Let's look at Massachusetts real quick. In 1,800 families was their sample size. 200 received food stamps. 1,500 did not. That's in Massachusetts. And one other one here. Let's see if we got some place in the South. Not really. So Virginia's it. That's not really the South. But let's see. I mean, it is. But 2,100 in the Virginia, only 200 people receive food stamps. That's from the Census Bureau. That made me feel pretty good. We are still a nation of doers and a nation of givers, not a nation of takers. And I'm telling you, man, that's the freaking USA, baby. That's all there is to it. That's why, I mean, I know some people used to have Flower Grower Smith on here. I must have offended him with my climate change stuff. He was from Australia. He's a good guy. I have some people from Canada on here too, but USA are in your face. That's all there's to it. And we're still a nation of doers, absolutely. And the vast majority of Americans are righteous. It's awesome. So, all right. See you guys next time, next Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Be here or be square. Thanks, guys.